Rest in peace, rest in power. I would rather say to Louie Baur, he was my brother. I have been operating and working with Louie, aka Combat Craig, for at the very least 15 years from the date of this recording. I may have met him in 2008 when I first started operating on the social news aggregators, which were the main drivers of virally distributed content. If anything went viral on Facebook, YouTube, any major mainstream social media platform, it would typically go viral or get popular on platforms such as Dig. It was the top social news aggregator at the time. Just think of Reddit. So Dig was the main, and Louie was one of the top operators. I'd say probably better than me because I believe he was higher on the leaderboard. This is the type of dude, Combat Craig, that would get up 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning and would ensure that he'd be the first person to share content just to get internet points, just to get votes. And he knew about this, of course. I can't say that he did not, but these organizations were making millions of dollars. I mean, not with every single instance, but collectively, because we drove billions of unique visitors to platforms all over the place. And I did it initially to build my network, which is why I always tell you when you approach a networking situation, you want to adopt the objective of what can I do for you? And that's how I got to write for Forbes, how I got to write for the Huffington Post. As a matter of fact, I wrote about Louie right here on the Huff Post when I wrote for them. Louie Baur, not a social media expert. That's how he wanted to be known, right? Contends that to be a social media samurai, beheading ninja, you are required to blog, tweet, and do everything else that has to do with it for at least 12 hours per day. And I believe it. I mean, he was the geek. I was not. Understand? And as of late, he had built, this was one of his magazines. He may have sold this thing. I'm not sure. Back in those days, I mean, you used to build magazines, drive traffic to them, and then you'd be able to sell it for like $30,000, $50,000. So he probably pulled that off. This was his Reddit profile, my man. He inspired me to get back into Reddit. And if I'm not mistaken, that's what, again, I worked with Reddit with the Barack Obama presidential campaign, helped him get reelected. And I'm not sure if this was part of the inspiration. I'm not sure if I had seen his, because I remember I saw it. I believe I already had traction on the platform, and I was just like, all right, if Lou can get 439,000 karma, like I need to jump on, get on my Reddit game, because after Obama, I kept on working with some publications, blew them out using Reddit. Reddit wasn't too privy on that anyway, but like I said, we use this stuff as sport. Diggers don't die, we multiply nonetheless. Understand what I'm saying? Combat Craig, as most of you know him, was helping many veterans. I am a 50% disability rated veteran. I go through some PTSD issues myself, have trouble sleeping. I still fight with it on a regular basis. He was 100% rated and helped a number of people get to that rating. Coincidentally, I got a call last night from some fellow boot camp shipmates, and we're going to collaborate on filing for this PACT Act, right? Because we were exposed to toxic substances in boot camp in Illinois when I was in the Navy. And I didn't know that. And I've been suffering from post-nasal drip. I'm actually sick right now, but I'm still getting this out. Post-nasal drip where I have to clear my throat. And this has been happening ever since I got out of the military. I didn't have this prior to that. And the doctor that saw me back in, I have to say, 97 or so, said that it comes as a result of having the back of my nose swollen, so it drips like on a regular basis. It drips phlegm onto my throat, so I always have to clear it. And that, if I'm not mistaken, it's chronic sinusitis. So that said, diggers don't die, we multiply. I am already working with some members of the community, you, my beloved viewers, to help you file your disability ratings, and we're going to get that paper. I am, as you can clearly see through the channel, we've raised tens of millions of dollars for America's entrepreneurs, and now we're working with veterans to help them get their disability ratings so they can get their paper, because they definitely need it, especially if you're exposed to these toxic substances. A lot's happening with the PACT Act. You want to strike while the iron is hot. Right now, the Veterans Affairs Department is aiming to ensure that veterans are getting this help, so they're spreading the word pretty aggressively. This is the second time that I'm hearing about it. First, a viewer actually told me about the PACT Act and said I should file for it. And then my friend called me last night, and then that's what actually prompted me to go look up my man Craig. I haven't spoken to him in roughly a year, if I'm not mistaken. I still got some of his texts right here. We were talking back and forth since he started the channel in 2021. Let me just take a look right here. My man Lou. I just sent him a text once I heard the news. It's confirmed because, I mean, a number of sources are talking about, you know, that Louie went, and people whose lives he impacted, feeling very sad about it. I talked about him in his shop on Forbes when Dig, you know, that platform that actually allowed us to connect, got sold for like $500,000. My man Lou is very knowledgeable in the skateboarding vertical. Basically, Tony Hawk asks him how to keep from getting his teeth knocked out doing 3-story board slides. Louie has been running websites since some of the kids doing the Silver Surfer on a skateboard were swimming in their pops, nutsacks, right? So yeah, I mean, we go back a minute, and we were operating for a while before all this Combat Craig stuff, and we had him on the channel right here. Bang. That's my man right there.
We will cover what are the easiest. In this video, we will cover what are the easiest issues to claim so you can win a 100% VA disability rating. This is because we support our troops. You know, I'm a veteran. I served in the United States Navy. I am here with Combat Craig. He is a 100% VA disability rating veteran. He came out of the Air Force. He is your snake eyes, ladies and gentlemen. He runs up in the VA, does the reconnaissance, does the paperwork, pun intended, paperwork to get you your paper. 100% disability rating to equate to about $3,000 a month for my troops, baby. How you doing, Combat Craig?
I'm doing pretty good, Neil. How's it going, man?
Everything is rocking, baby. Right here, just helping our troops as usual, looking to support our vets as much as we can. I shared with you some of our vets' comments in regards to their dealings with the VA. So definitely, I'd love to go ahead and touch on a few topics that concern your expertise. Just in case you don't know, Combat Craig, he has his own YouTube channel. You can go ahead and query it. I'll leave a link to it in the pinned top comment and in the description below, so you can go ahead and visit it, where he gets into everything, all the ins and outs of working the VA system so you can get your paper.
Gotta get that paper, baby.
To which you are fully entitled. So, first thing, how do you file a claim for VA benefits, Craig?
Yeah, let me back up just a little bit, too. And we laugh about getting that paper. But this is not free money. It's not a welfare program.
There it is.
You serve, you deserve, right? Yes, most of us were not drafted. We volunteered. But we did it. We did whatever we did, whatever branch we were in, whatever job we were in, whatever combat we saw. We went in, we sucked it up, and we did it. And, things happen to us inside, whether they're mental health things, orthopedic conditions, whatever they are. So you served, you deserve. This isn't oh, well, that guy looks like he's worse off than I am because he's in a wheelchair. So I don't want to take money out of his pocket. That was the mentality that I had. And that's the first thing I want all veterans to understand. It doesn't matter what anybody else is getting, what their compensation rate is. It's none of your business. What you're getting or not getting isn't their business. It's all about you proving a medical disability to the VA and linking it to your active duty service. So what was your question again? Sorry.
So how do you file a claim for veterans disability benefits?
So there's a couple ways to do it. You can fax it in. The most common way that's done nowadays is doing it on va.gov, filing a claim online. But you can still do old school ways. You could fax it in. If you have a VSO is a veteran service officer. They work for their accredited agents that work for big organizations like AMVETS and DAV, Stable Veterans of America. There's a handful of them, and they can help you too. They can file it on your behalf. But the most popular way that I see is doing it online at va.gov, and it literally takes 2 minutes. The hard part is not filing the claim. The hard part is providing medical evidence to prove that you have a disability. I'm a veteran. Why should I have to prove it?
So that's part of the video. You could feel free to watch it. I'll leave a link in the video description below. And this is the information that I've been able to find from va.gov on the PACT Act. So if you were in certain theaters and if you have presumptive conditions, right here, the PACT Act and your VA benefits. The PACT Act is a law that expands VA health care and benefits for veterans exposed to burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances. This law helps us provide generations of veterans and their survivors with the care and benefits they've earned and deserve. And starting March 5th, 2024, we're expanding VA health care to millions of veterans years earlier than called for by the PACT Act. My friend told me that just because we were in boot camp right here, so boot camp, Illinois Navy PACT Act, it reads it's not, but something over here, there's a, right here. So apparently, Naval Station Great Lakes, some people were exposed to PFAS firefighting foam. And if you've got, testicular cancer, renal, kidney cancer, prostate cancer, or whatever, so you've got a claim definitely right here. So potential issues, but based off what my friend told me, we were also exposed to asbestos then. I worked in the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard, and I know I used to dig dirt out of my nose every single day and every single orifice in my body. Like I used to pull it out of my ears, out of my belly button. And again, I'm going through that post-nasal drip. This was post-military stuff. I've had that since. It hasn't gone away in one way or the other. So I was just like, and I was puzzled. I was like, why do I keep on having this? I don't even know why. I'm like, when I only do, I have to keep always clearing my throat all the time. Let me clear my throat. Anyway, yeah, man. So rest in power to my man, Louie, man.
Well, how well has it been working for you for the past 30 years? If you didn't have to prove anything, they would have just handed you 100% when you walked out, right? So that doesn't happen. So medical disability, you have to prove it. And as you are qualified to write a personal statement on 21-4138, you can, write a personal statement and explain it. You are not a doctor. You're not qualified to give a medical opinion about yourself. You need a doctor to do that. So maybe there's a VA doctor that's not downplayed your symptoms and they're talking about how bad you really are. Or you might have to get it from a private doctor. Wherever you get it, it's a qualified medical professional. So need medical evidence. So it's long story short, va.gov is the most popular way. And that's not the hard part. The hard part is proving it with medical evidence.
Okay, you need what's called a nexus letter. So yeah, I got that for my particular claim. I just heard an audio clip of someone saying that Combat Craig would not have had a business if it wasn't for this particular person. Louie explained to me exactly how his business worked. I'm not going to share all the details, but I know exactly how it operated. Let me make one thing crystal clear to anyone, the person who said that, anyone who was potentially a loved one and next of kin to Louie, because Louie lived in Idaho when he was by himself. He told me, he was like, listen, I'm just out here just going in. I'm by myself in my crib. I believe he had just gone through a divorce, if I could recall directly. And he was just going in. And that's how he's always been. He was just in his grind, promoting. But the face of whatever it is that you're doing, that's the entire business. Understand what I'm saying? Because there is no operational component, which is what these people fulfilled, without the face of the organization actually out there doing what you need to do. Of course, the business can go on, but it better learn the marketing component. Otherwise, it's done. Understand what I'm saying? Just like Disney, they had the operational component, but they also had the marketing in place to keep the operation going. So you shouldn't be out there knocking them. That's my brother. We put in enough work. I could show you emails dating back 2010, 2009, where, we're talking about and how we collaborated with each other on a regular basis. I mean, there were times we were like, yo, let's go get some digs up. Let's drive crazy traffic here. Let's drive traffic there. We were playing with traffic. And I'm talking about 1,000 people per minute. Some of the viral campaigns that made the internet what it is today, me and him, we collaborated on that. Like, I don't know if you saw my video on my YouTube channel with my man, aka First Dig, Ergo, that he is the CEO and founder of Social Blade. So it's the platform on which you can see your YouTube stats, and Will Smith uses it. I think Jimmy Fallon. So there was a video that I shared where I interviewed him and got some tips on how you can make money based off of the way that he was able to be successful. And we all collaborated on a regular basis to drive traffic, some of which I capitalized on. So, I got to work with Forbes through my use of Dig, through my use of Reddit. You can still do that. You can still use these networks in order to put yourself in a position where you're favored among people. Again, like I told you in the past, I worked for Forbes. I didn't even apply for a job. I didn't show a resume or portfolio. Didn't have to do any internships. Didn't have to make anybody coffee. Any of that. And a lot of it came through Dig, through the marketing component. Because if there are no sales, if we don't fulfill the moral obligation of selling and marketing, communicating our value to a marketplace, there is no money to pay for operations. So anyone who said that, I don't know anybody's names, I'm not going to do too much digging, is twisted. Because that's what it's all about. That top of the marketing funnel right there. And no one fulfilled it for this shop like my man Louie. And no one will continue to do that as far as I can see. The way that they've got where you're knocking somebody who's already passed away, talking about that Louie would not have had a business. I mean, he would have figured it out operationally. He's been involved in business. He didn't want to do it. He didn't want to do it. He wanted to just focus on marketing. And that's a smart thing to do. If someone could be better operationally, of course. But if he had to do it, I mean, he could have done it on a different platform. I'm not sure how much these people have control over this YouTube asset, right? But nonetheless, people are talking about left and right. No one's going to replace Lou. No one's going to replace Lou. So the company, it appears, is not in that position. I mean, and if they're already talking to discredit him, I think they're just trying to make it appear as if, it wasn't a special part. It's just he was the face of the company. For instance, like they highlighted right here in the Facebook posts, many of you knew our video presenter Louie Baur, the face, sadly has passed away while he carried our company's name. On his moniker it is important to remember that Combat Craig has always been more than one person. While he carried our company's name as his moniker, it's important to remember that Combat Craig he started the whole thing. Without him, there wouldn't have been a company in the first place. Our mission has always been clear: to educate veterans and provide affordable workshops and boot camps where every veteran has the opportunity to develop and strategize their own VA claims. Before he even had this boot camp, I was talking to him, and he already had these ideas in place. He just needed someone to execute. So that's the way that I see it, all right, based off the information that I have. And I know a lot more about what he told me, all right? And if I see anyone with a legitimate means to ensure that it gets passed down to a child I don't know about, I'm not sure, perhaps an other, someone that was, I don't know, that lived with him. I'm not sure how. I mean, I don't know all the intricate details of his personal life. Nonetheless, I know that I've known him for some time, and getting everything done operationally, it was within his wheelhouse. Just like I do several things, just like I've helped veterans, just like I've helped myself, just like I've helped America's entrepreneurs raise tens of millions of dollars. I can, he could operate in the same space. I know it again, but the smartest thing to do is, of course, if someone is better operationally at doing something, but he already had the components in place, he just need people, because time is of the essence. We don't know whether we're promised tomorrow. Understand? So he was here at one point. I took it for granted and I said, let me just go look him up. I thought I was going to find him. He's gone. My man is gone, which is why I tell you, yes, you, my beloved viewers, if you're serious about ensuring that you leave a legacy, get wealthy, ensure that you do everything in your power to put yourself in the best position to get the outcomes that you want to bring to life. Otherwise, what are we doing here? You put an utmost importance on the material things and the tools that you have at your disposal. You want to hoard them. Listen, it's all gravy. Just let it go. You got to love me or leave me alone. That's how you have to treat your dreams and objectives if you don't love them, if you're not willing to do everything required. Learn what you need to learn. Invest in yourself. Because look what happened, my man Craig, my man Lou. Understand what I'm saying? And Lou was so deep into his work that he wanted to call himself Craig as opposed to Lou. Like, he was like, yeah, he let me interview him for Huffington Post, but he was like, not the social media expert. And, he was just like, even on Reddit, he had his name there, but on the other hand, I'm probably sure that he's probably had a bunch of accounts that were a bunch of pseudonyms where he operated in his space. So, I mean, like I said, he's like, just like I said in the video, snake eyes, baby. He'll go undercover, do damage. He'll go out and put his face out there and do whatever it is that he needs to get done to help people. And you get the same types of comments, like over here. Junis Koga, all these people that have commented winning grant money, all the hundreds of people, thousands of people that won grant money, they got PPP money as a result of operating through the platform. We're into it. And again, it's about wanting. I've gotten to the point that I'm in the grind and my brain has given up. It said, listen, we have to ensure this kid enjoys it because he's not stopping. His objective is to continue to help people or just perform these painful tasks of just writing up content, and he's always in front of the camera and ensuring that he's communicating whatever it is he's doing. If it's causing him some pain, let's go ahead and take that out, because we can't have him in a highly stressful situation 100% of the time. 100% of the time he's out there operating. That's what my man Louie was doing. Understand? That's why we vibe. That's why we hit it off all the time. We had collaborated. We formally worked with each other. And we would drive in traffic to some of the biggest publications on the planet. And even lower end publications. Like I told you, I think he had Skateboard Magazine at one juncture. He may have flipped it, probably put $30,000, $50,000 in his pocket, maybe even more. Understand? We do this for sport, whether we're getting paid, whether it's just basically the skill. And that skill fortunately, it helps people, right? And if you want to help people at the order of magnitude that you have set, you have told me in conversations, do everything that you need to do right now. People have plans lined up. Oh, for the next 5 years, I'll wait. I still got time. Psst, you got no time. You got no time. God forbid. This is the last day. It could be for me, for you, for anyone. And you didn't do everything in your power to leave that legacy, to do everything that you said that you loved, for the people that you loved. And look what happened. But yeah, like I said, anyone that needs to reach out, I mean, my condolences. I know there were people, family members that were a lot closer to Louie than I was. I knew him. We spoke several times over the phone, countless number of times, and I know there's a number of people that knew him that may not even know about this. It was a surprise to me. It shocked me. I'm like, wow, my man Lou is gone, B. You know what I'm saying? He was just a little older than me, and reportedly 1968. So 2025. So he's like what, 57 or so, 56. I think the date of his death was like August 10th, based off what I've been watching. There's no official news reports but his channel, it's right here. 190,000 subscribers. How to file a secondary VA claim, sleep apnea linked to PTSD. I got PTSD. I may have sleep apnea. So you helping me now, bruh. And anyone who needs help with this stuff, I mean, feel free to reach out. It is what it is. Diggers don't die, we multiply. I'm the only digger that said it, baby. And I'm talking about Dig because we all came up through Dig. That was like our boot camp. And he echoed the same sentiment. VA COLA, pay hike, increase. And he's talking to some dude over here. I don't know who this is. All right, looking nice right here. I didn't even see this. Bald, he got that modern-esque, Art Deco shirt? I don't even know. That's my man Lou right here, B. Lou. Everything you need to know about recent changes. So, yeah, no, I mean, if enough people in the community, you need help with this stuff, I mean, listen, I got crazy paralegal experience. Did they get it right? How they figure if the VA decision is correct, the value of personal statement in the VA claim to win VA benefits. Where can I see the results from my CMP exam? So all this information right here. That's the legacy my man Combat Craig leaves. I love you, Lou. I love you, Lou, and I'd like to share my deepest condolences to all of the people that were closer to Lou than I was. I've known him for some time. Definitely a brother from another mother. Lou, man. That's my man. And he's gone now. So, diggers don't die, we multiply.